When I go to the ministry, the first thing which I did was signing the end of a concession for Jacobson. I didn't understand the ministry. And when it was put to me, I looked at the cost of thermal power generation. I looked at hydro. I saw where we are in developing electricity, hydro. Based on that one, I did not hesitate without understanding the ministry. Said, this is the end of this concession. Jacobson is a thermal generation plant that you saw, which was a standby. I said, hands of Ugandans. And that was a test. And when I saw UEGCL take it on, it gave me more confidence. The next concession which I signed its end to was ESCO. I signed it off. It is now in the hands of one of our own companies, and our children are running it. I'm signing off ending concessions for the small power distributors in this country. And the next one is Umeme. Why should you worry about the end of Umeme concession? I've studied it. Who is running Umeme? More than 80% Ugandan boys and girls. What's the new product they have, which we don't have? What school did they go to? What school haven't I sent my scientists to and the economists? I have every confidence we shall do it. And this one is even better because we have time to do it and we have understood where we're going. All we needed is to build confidence among you. And what I've told you about the concessions that we have taken over should be able to give you comfort that we shall take you also on Umeme. Did you know that the assets of Umeme are our own assets? It's by our own company. I remove my assets, Umeme will be no more because they have been using my assets. Don't I have the manpower to take over and run the assets? I do. Don't I understand the technologies to supply electricity? I do. Now what is remaining, and my intention, which should be exciting you, is actually to reduce the cost of power. I will not be able to reduce the cost of power if Umeme is there. I will not be able to enable you to tap electricity from generation directed to your industry. Now the law provides for that. Umeme will say, pass it through my distribution line, and then I will supply the industrialist. I know there are only operational challenges. One good thing I would wish to assure all of you, Umeme is not opposed to the end of the concession. Umeme is playing to the change of the game and get a better contribution to this country. We are not saying the private sector should not come into the energy sector, but the terms you come must be very clear and they must be pro-Uganda. So please, Umeme can still come and have a discussion on new status. It is a concession, it's an agreement. When I went to church to marry, until death does us part. That's an agreement. Umeme's concession was 20 years. And the 20 years, are over by May next year. We are engaging Umeme with our new company, which is going to take over. This is Uganda Electricity Distribution, to see how we can have a seamless end of the concession. Many of you will say, what about our children who are employed by Umeme? Am I going to import people who are qualified to do distribution? Where there is a Ugandan, you'll just merge into a job in the new company. So, please, my customers, my clients, have trust in your government. Your government is thinking about you. I'll tell you my experience. The part which I was worried about was procurement because of our procurement bureaucracy. I'm actually challenging the Minister of Finance and saying we may have to amend the law of procurement to enable me move as fast, and I must assume the private sector operations. Short of that, I'll tell Minister of Finance, since this is a company, it must play the game as a private sector.